For the reality of dust, the idea was to show evaporation in all its forms, and I wanted to create, because it's like use the whole GRM possibility of acousmonium to create like a sonic improvised performance. And the idea was to, in a way, grow my own garden in a way that prepare the soundscape, which I will plant in the space, and then they will evaporate and interact in an improvised, like, random way. And I was like, and looking forward to see how they're gonna work in the space. So in a way, I have the music, like, been preparing some material before coming here, but then with the opportunity of have like this octophonic sound system, I started putting everything together and used a little bit of synths, but mostly I was working with field recordings, because for me it's important to have the nature of sound as nature and then maybe processed, but kind of, yeah, because the idea of the piece is based of evaporation and garden and planting, and like, so like the sound are being planted and then they evaporate in the space and merge with each other in some like improvised way. And I was looking at it in a way, because I'm also working with performance and body, in a way to see how the sound can be performers, like as if it's like bodies in the space, and how they can interact with each other. And because it's like something ephemeral, I'm curious how it's going to be presented in the space in this unique sound system. I started like working on this piece in Tbilisi, and I was really inspired by the soundscape I was looking at from my balcony, because I could see all the lights at night like glistening, and like but I could see no people, and also because I was on the hill, I could hear no sounds, just very muffled. And so I was really imagining that it's a static city performance. To be honest, the way, like, after I got invited to play here, I got so inspired, and especially working here in the studio, I already wanted to a little expand my performance practice into more like also using body and merging with audience. So I don't like this hierarchy. That's why I don't like big performances when there's like huge audience and then I'm sitting alone on the stage, and this is like create this gap. So that's why I like either small performances where there is like this honesty, intimacy and connection, or I actually got really inspired to create multi-channel compositions, because this is a really, like, in a way, in multi-channel compositions, an artist is like behind the scene. It's like, in a way, this system represents the live performance or like an artist. So I really like the idea that I want to stay behind and to make the sound tell the story and present what I want to say, because that's what we're here for. Usually when I start working on a piece, or just like when I make music, for me it's very important to have an idea first, or a concept, and like what I want to say. So it's not just like jamming around, but for me it's a ground, is like a seed. I like the idea of the garden, that you plant something and then it starts growing, but you don't know how it's going to grow, but you like make an intention and you do this intention. So with all the work I do is always like an idea, like a solid, which gives me inspiration and gives me an opportunity to grow and learn something new during the process. And then after only I settle down with an idea, I like to write a lot about it and draw, or just like think a lot extensively. And then I start working with sound. For this piece, Reality of Dust, I was very excited because I was thinking so much about it, like for months. And then I was like, okay, time to make music. And it was so interesting to observe how these ideas and like this concept and messages and everything I wanted to work and touch upon working on the piece started to materialize in the sound, because I never know how it's gonna, what kind of sound it's gonna bring. In a way, it's like start with an idea and then I'm kind of tuning in with a space, with a moment, and start just like making music, and I never know how it's gonna materialize. And for me, it's the most beautiful process in a way, because when I start working and like re-listening to what I'm doing, it's like, oh, so this is what it means in terms of like materializing the idea or like this concept I had, and it's so interesting to learn or see yourself from that point of view.